Well, no prizes for guessing where we are. This is one of a number of bike nights we do at Donington Park throughout the summer, and it's organised in conjunction with a track night. So if a blast around the famous Donington circuit tickles your fancy, it's all possible. These Wednesday night meets are a massive gathering. The track and bike nights at Donington started in 1977, and we incorporated a bike night to run alongside it. We put a band and a disco on in Redgate Lodge, and thousands of bikers come along to these nights to just sort of socialise. You'll usually have to pre-book to go on the circuit, but it does open the door to you having the time of your life. Well, almost. The track nights are very popular and sell out quickly, as it's one of the few places you can legally open up the bike to see what it's capable of doing. The organisers do tend to categorise each session, so if you are a novice, you'll go out with a novice group, which works quite well. It's a great opportunity to understand how hard it can be to actually race a bike and undergo, be it slightly, the mental and physical exhaustion riders go through that race at top level. It can help your confidence on the public roads and on your own bike as well. The track here is a little damp after a short shower we had earlier, so riders are treating the circuit with a bit more respect than they usually do. Most road bikes are allowed on the circuit, and it's not just for sports bikes either. You may see a number of unpaired touring bikes on the track, but whatever the bike, it must have a legal silencer fitted, or silencers, depending on how many cylinders. It's very much a social affair, and a biker travelling 100 miles is not uncommon. Yeah, the bikers come from all round London, Sheffield, the West Midlands, the Lincolnshire. It really is a popular night. The pit lane here at Donington is turned into a shopping mall, and traders come and take over the garages, and it gives you a chance to browse up and down and have a gander at what the traders have on offer. You'll find clearance lines, new products, new bikes, clothing, helmets, gloves. You might even find a band playing in one of them. Here riders are waiting in pit lane for the signal by the marshal to take their turn onto the circuit. They're all very anxious, very serious. There are usually other activities within the paddock, go-karts, mini-bikes, other bikes to look at, that sort of thing. He's been watching the big lads. Every corner is monitored by CCTV cameras at Donington, so if a problem arises, the session can be stopped and the problem sorted out. Donington Park also run track days. They're more expensive, but you get more track time. If you want more information on that, just ring Donington Park. Some of the racing lads use the track nights for test sessions and setting up, that sort of thing, so don't be surprised if you're rubbing shoulders with a famous rider or two. Ha! His mate has just took the keys out of his ignition and thrown them on the deck. He doesn't seem too happy about it. But that'll cost him a pint in Redgate. No, he's not happy at all. He just smiled. Well, I was just going round the outside of Micdewin and well, here's Brum's answer to Playgirl, Craig Jones. He's as popular as a pork scratching on a hell farm. I'll tip this bloke to be Euro stunt riding champ, but I'm not really saying which year. Craig is actually an old mate. He started his career delivering pizzas and was the only rider that could deliver pizzas around a block of flats without getting off his bike. So what he's doing now is just a progression from his pizza delivery days. Craig is from Birmingham and has made a few appearances at the Wild Ox near Leicester in the early days, where he got himself noticed by Roger Winterman from Windy Corner Motorcycles. Roger sponsored him on a Triumph, and from that he landed a slot at Day of Champions, and the rest's pretty much history. He's always got time for a natter, even though he's an international superstar. It's a pint he only played. He was flown to Australia to entertain the crowds at the opening round of the Formula One Car Grand Prix, and he's been over to America to show the Yanks how to do it as well. To put in a few words, he's doing quite well.
Well, that's the end of another good show. Problem is engine number 3 is gone now, so I guess it's back to the drawing board to find out how we can get oil to run the engine when it's vertical and not burning out. New tricks, pay the price.
Right time it's in studio.
Aye, it's the helmet polishers. There are a few props in pit lane, and here's 4 of them. Well, I did say there was a lot to look at in pit lane, didn't I? There's the opportunity also for the ladies to test their nerve in the passenger seat of a Formula 2 outfit. And view Donington, if you dare look, with a faster pace than you normally would. A few laps round Donington normally costs about a tenner, and it's well worth it. And finally, here we are inside Redgate Lodge. This is where we get rather sociable.
Hello everybody, welcome to Donington Park. This is the bike night of the year, that's what we decided to call it anyway. We've got a fellow artist one under the room and the X-Fill Bombers the other. This fellow artist is called Keith. He's absolutely incredible. You're not incredible? You're not? Well, you're half decent, aren't you? You're not? You're not good at all?
The booking Bronco ride always gives value for money, more so really for the people watching. Here's one of my favourites, the X-Fill Bombers, one of the best rockabilly bands in the UK, and I bet his name's Peter. What did I tell you? I think she could do with tightening the straps up, I think to myself. I think they're talking about the girl with the straps. Anyway, that's Donington Park. Now we're going to have a zoom over to Leicester to the Wild Ox. Every Tuesday night, it's the place to be if you own a bike. I think he's trying to tell us he's just had a new bike. S-Reg. The Ox, as it's known, started Tuesday, July the 16th, 1996. We promoted it in national press and through our own channels, and on the opening night we had 700 odd bikes. It was awesome, you know, the sound of motorcycles coming up the A46 from both directions sounded like a swarm of bees. The bikers liked the place and word spread fast. I mean, it's a bit upmarket, but the gaffer's okay and he likes us and rides a bike himself when he can. Now this bloke later on is going to have his head shaved for charity for the baby unit at the Leicester Royal. 8 years of growth is going to be shaved off.
Auction later on. This has been donated by Phil, one of the trade stands up in the top corner. Don't forget to go and have a look at what he's got.
We get all sorts up here, classic sports, trikes, chops, street fighters, old uns, young uns, you name it, it all gets up here. We're cording the car park off and during the summer months, so only bikes can use it. You still have to park outside mine, it isn't enough room inside.
Nobody gets hurt. There's a guy who walks in, he's told a story about it, you do need to listen to it.
That's Matthew, that is. As you can see, the Ox is also a hotel, and many bikers stay here en route north, south, east or west. This is the A46 that actually runs outside the Ox, from Leicester, between Leicester and Newark. Down, boy.
Yeah, going there and there. A few of them here tonight. Anyway, welcome to the Wild Ox here on the A46. The reason I'm up here this week is because we're videoing the night. First video that's coming out later in the year, be on sale nationwide, along with those other places that have been filmed as well. We're also going to play a get saving. Thank you for the baby in the rest of the room. The lady doing it is learning to be an hairdresser. So she's having to attract it. I'm next on your bike. £95 bid. 90 anybody? Yeah? 90, 95. £90 bid. 95 at the back. 95 bid. £100. Yeah? £100 bid. £100 bid. Any advance on £100 for this helmet? All money to go to the well, 110. 110. 110 bid for this helmet. Any advance on 110? Yeah.
Yes, come on, straight on the middle. Come on, you ain't having that, mate. Do well, mate. Ready to see it.
What is it, cough for? What is the cough for?
The video's going to be brought out later on in the year. We get a group of girls standing in front of
Oh, come on, mate. You can try harder than that. I think he needs a lesson off Craig Jones. Bikers arrive all night long at the Ox. It's situated on the A46, as said earlier, and it's in an area called Six Hills. And it is an area, it's not a town. It's about 8 miles east out of Leicester towards Newark. And if you blink, you'll miss it. So keep your eyes peeled. The slip road off the A46 is where the hotel ends. So, you know, it's right at the very end of the building, the very last building. It runs into a tight left-hander, and it's a little caution is required here. We've not had any bumps yet, but as I say, it's just a place that you need to have your wits about if you've been steaming down the A46. K100 doing a burnout. Actually, we'll let you into a secret. It's a bloke with a smoke machine. Now that's real. Right, we're going to leave the Ox now. We didn't plan to have a barbecue, it just sort of happened. Anyway, we're going to nip up to Sherbin in Helmet now. This is in Yorkshire. It's a famous milk bar run by the infamous Harry. Every Wednesday night the old town is taken over by bikers, and it's got to be Yorkshire's most popular bike meet. Here we are inside Harry's domain, the milk bar. They even have road signs up here with the milk bar on it, you know, so it shows how popular it is. Circa 1950s. It's been here for 40 years to be precise, because Harry says so. Sherbin in Helmet is it's just off the A1 at Pontefract, and it is signposted. He's just stalled that. I bet he feels daft when he finds out it's on this video. There's plenty of parking space to be found. Courtyards, pub yards, pig yards, any yards. That looks like the Cannes Festival. Get it? Yeah, we'll do it because this is the first one. There's number one, there's 2 coming out, 3.
We'll get some, you want some wheelies, we'll get there.
I think he's got problems with that. It's only firing on one. Now we're at the Kirkgate Chippy, which is across the road from the milk bar, where you'll find a lady called Tina. Tina's her name, jumbo hot dogs are the game. She says she only handles big sausages. Yeah, we are in deepest Yorkshire here, where men are men and sheep are nervous. And they all eat bread when out taken out. I suppose we'll be lucky to get out alive.
You ready then, Tina?
Two cappuccinos. Hello, my name's Tina, and thank you very much for coming to Sherburne Helmet.
Alright.
Oh, do you want to do it again?
Right, thanks very much.
Yeah, very good, Tina.
You get royalties.
Who said she gets royalties? She don't, honest.
Now, you're right. I'm Alex from Squire's Coffee Bar, Sherman Elmet. Place has been here 40 odd years. I should rephrase that. It should be Sherman with helmet because it's with crash helmet. Okay? We've been here 40 odd years and it's bikers, what do you call it, bikers on. And they come from all over the show. Farthest have come from is Iceland, believe it or not. Got Wednesday night session. So I'll leave it and come visit. Okay?
Yeah, that was Harry. Anybody notice he was wearing wellies? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Anyway, from Harry's place, 20 mile, is a place called Redbeck, and this is it. It's a transport cafe with strong biker routes. It's about 3 mile out of Wakefield, and they held a bike night also on a Wednesday night. We heard about it at the Milk Bar, and a couple on a bike played Jungle Guide and took us there, so thank you, couple on a bike. Again, a very busy place. It was dusk when we arrived, you probably noticed, and used by lorries in the day and bikers at night. The bikers here are a bit apprehensive about pulling wheelies because they thought we were the police, so we told them that it was all for Top Gear, and they really got into it after that. Sorry for lying, lads. The bikers up here seem to use cafes. They don't seem to use pubs so much. It was apparent on the night. Anyway, the Milk Bar, Kirkgate, Chipper, Redbeck, they're all cafeterias, transport cafes. So, coffee's the order of the day, which can't be a bad thing. They line the roads here like the goose in Nottingham. You know, anybody familiar with the grey goose in Nottingham? It's unfamiliar but familiar, if you know what I mean. And last but not least, Matlock Bath, Derbyshire. It's not really a bike night, it's more a bike day or a bike weekend or a biker's bank holiday. This place is heaving with bikers, and there's more bikers than there are spaces to park. It just gets absolutely unbelievable. The shop side of the promenade ought to be just for bikes, you know, like they've done at Stratford-on-Avon. If they can do it, why not Matlock? The thing is, motorcycling is growing at a rapid rate of knots, and it'd be nice if the authorities move with the times. Matlock Bath is probably the most picturesque of any biker's haunt. To find out more about the area, a visit to the Tourist Information Office is all you need. They hold a very comprehensive info on the Peak District, plus souvenirs, local crafts, and there are a few pubs, but the main biker pub in Matlock Bath is the Fish Pond. It's on the left as you go in from Derby. It's a very pretty town and the gateway to the Peak District. Just follow the A6 up to Bakewell and Buxton, and then on to High Peaks, Castletown, the Blue John Mines are all places of interest. If you get that far, the roads are gorgeous. The River Derwent runs through Matlock, and if you're one of the few bikers that have never been, then you really ought to put it on your list. Lots of chip shops as well. My favourite's the Promenade Fish Bar, but I suppose they're always good. We were waiting a long time to film Matlock. The weather in '98, as you know, was far from gorgeous, and finding a Sunday or a Saturday that we could film on was diminishing quickly. But as look at it, October, it was autumn, but there were still a lot of bikers here, so we come and done it. Yeah, we arrived here early in the morning, so it's the trade's gradually built up whilst we were here. A few bike shops to look at as well. A few boats to play on if you like messing about on the river. And if you like fish, you've got a good aquarium in the old swimming pool. Yeah, there weren't that many days like this in '98, was there? That's a cable car. You get some cracking shots of the Peak District if you take your camera up there. That's Vaughan Edwards, circuit manager at Donington Park. He's a tally-tubber. Somebody there out to look. And that is Matlock Bath. Well worth putting on your list. Every New Year's Day we do a bike run, and it's like two runs merging into one. One run leaves Nottingham, and one run leaves Leicester, and both runs merge at Derby. We pick up from all three places. This is Carnell's at Stapleford, just outside Nottingham. Parnell's and Big Rock now, big Harley dealers. This was the start of the Nottingham side of the New Year Day run. And this is the Victoria in Colville, which is will be the start of the Leicester side of the New Year's Day run. And the idea is that Leicester leave the Vic about 11 AM on New Year's Day morning. Nottingham leave Stapleford at 11:10, and hopefully we meet up about the same time at McDonald's car park in Derby. It's on the outer ring, and I think they call it Mark Eaton Park, which is the big roundabout there. Well, here we are at Derby. Now we have a cup of the hot stuff. It's about 11:30 in the morning now, and we wait for the others to come. Now the Nottingham side has already arrived, so the Leicester side have taken the time. And we do is hang around and get to know have a nat, cup of tea, cup of the hot stuff, and leave about 12 noon. Right, this is the Leicester side of the run just arriving. Thing with runs, you know, if you start out on a run, you all sort of get split up into groups or whatever, and it's difficult to still stay together. Especially on New Year's Day morning. I mean, it's hard to find anybody sober. I'm only kidding, obviously. Now we usually have a group photograph here, a wave and a natter, and just really to defrost yourself until you ride onto Matlock. Get all sorts of bikes come on the runs, sports bikes, touring bikes, old vintage stuff. And this happens every New Year's Day. Everybody's welcome. It's not just a club run, you know. It's open to all bikers that are willing to brave the weather. Bikers that are well hard, or stupid, or both. We only do it if the weather's nice anyway. I mean, if the weather's the roads are icy, then you can do it. Just a rule of thumb, you know. Okay, so here we go. 76 hardy bikers are leaving for Matlock on a trouble-free, easy-going, full of fun afternoon out. Wrong. think we'll get the police to do this. I mean, we stopped the traffic ourselves this unit, but asked a few people off, so I think we'll ask the old Bill next year if they'll give us a hand. A few irate car drivers. Well, you get them anyway, don't you? This is the S, is it Wattsdown crosses River Derwent, about halfway to Matlock. Now, this could be one of them times where we could play that game they do on Question of Sport. You know, they show you a clip of film and stop it just before the finale and ask what happens next. I mean, did a lady biker crash and was rushed to hospital with a broken nail? Did a male poser bike waving to some girls go straight into the back of a manure cart? Did we all break down simultaneously, have to abort the run? Or by some freak chance a lorry and a busload of pensioners have a head-on in the middle of Matlock, Bath, and completely close the roads? Whatever the reason, we had to find a way over the hills, so to get to where we wanted to go, that's what we had to do. And that's what I wanted to get to. Matlock Bath, a chippy in the pub. And as it turned out, it was the latter. Happy New Year. A busload of pensioners on a jolly, just like us really. Maybe they were bikers from another generation that used to come here on the Scott Flying Squirrels and BSA Bantams. Or if you were a poser in them days, a Gruff Superior, which I suppose could be on a par with today's R1. Out in a bus because the joints can't stand the cold anymore, and anyway nobody's invented motorised Zimmers, so a bus is the only answer. And they've come to Matlock to rekindle some old memories from their biking youth. Who knows? I'm getting carried away here. I bet they weren't bikers at all. The main thing is that nobody was hurt, and it looked worse than it was, but it stopped all traffic flow for 5 hours. An accident in Matlock with no motorcycle involved. We heard somebody say that's leveled statistics out a bit.
I'm a biker, I don't like it. Is that all they got to do? Eat with it now? Look, TN actually did it, Rallo. There you go, he's hiding the hamburger. Yeah, he's got him right.
Well, here we are inside the fish pond at last. We've had us chips and peas, now for a pint, to tell a few jokes, a tale or two. Not all the bikers on the run made it. I suppose this will be one of them to remember in years to come, if we're on a bus trip with the OAP MCC, riding around Derbyshire with his wheelchairs stashed in the storage compartments of the bus passing through Matlock. Can you remember coming here on our bikes that New Year's Day when a bus and lorry had crashed and blocked the road? I bet not everybody does. Anyway, that's your lot.